What is going on, guys? It is your boy the Timecodes Gaming coming at you again with another video, and today, guys, we're getting into week 3 of the OP10 ranked sim rankings, and we finally have some movement, guys. We have some new decks in the top 10. We have some variations of lists approaching in the top 10, so a lot of things to get into. We're going to be going through every deck list, the rankings, the matchups, and everything else in between, guys. So don't forget to like and subscribe, and let's get right into the video. Okay, guys, so getting right into the rankings, we have a new top deck in the format. Shanks has finally overtaken Zoro, and guys, look at the number of fucking matches played with Shanks. Holy fucking shit. 26,000. Oh, just about 26,000. 25,697 sim matches were played with Shanks in the past week, with a 53% win rate. That is fucking insane. And it looks like it has the second highest win rate, just behind Dofi. Zoro's win rate has been ticking down slowly, but Zoro's still second deck in the format, guys. Not a lot of still a lot of representation, but compared to Shanks and Blackbeard, 9,000 I guess is the third most used deck in the format. Looking really good for Zoro still. His win rate started like at 54, high 54.8 or something, and has been ticking down these last couple of weeks. So I think that trend was probably going to continue for Zoro. If you're a Zoro player, over the next few weeks, you might want to consider checking different cards into your list to start countering some of the other cards that other decks are running to specifically counter Zoro. Next, guys, Purple Luffy. I feel like people are not talking about Purple Luffy. This dude has been number 3 or 4 since the start of OP10. His representation is currently 4th. And just like in general, I don't see any videos about him. I don't hear anyone talking about him. But honestly, he might be the best deck in the format. I mean, obviously the best purple deck. But I don't know, guys. Purple Luffy is fucking strong. It is very consistent. And especially, like, looking into its matchups here. Where's Purple Luffy? Like, Purple Luffy has a pretty even matchup into Shanks. 47%. Relatively beats Blackbeard. Even against Zoro, even against Smoker, even against its mirror, obviously. It loses to Bonnie, but I feel like as long as it sees its good cards, like if it sees its Luffy Taros, it's going to be just fine. And you can tech, like, to combat the 8-drop Kid. You can run, like, a Gamma Knife to get around that. So I think this is not representative of what the matchup actually is. About even against Dofi, 63% into Usopp, even against Smoker, Lucci, even against Red Purple Luffy, even against Lim, and 56% against Kid. Guys, this is one of the best matchup spreads like I've ever seen. Like, besides Shanks, I think this is one of the most consistent matchup kind of charts I've ever seen with in this top 10. Like, just kind of even across the board, with the exception of the Bonnie. But honestly, I don't think the Bonnie matchup is actually that bad. Maybe I'm wrong. Purple Luffy players, comment below what you think. I feel like if you see your Luffy Taros, like multiple Luffy Taros, you're going to be just fine. But yeah, Purple Luffy is, I feel like he's not underrated, but just no one's talking about it, and he's a top 3 deck in the format, where I feel like everyone's giving hype to Shanks, Zoro, Dofi, Blackbeard, Bonnie, but Purple Luffy is just right here fucking killing people. Next we have the Dofi, guys. Dofi's still, the win rate's just fucking insane, 54.72%. Still not a lot of representation, which is why it's probably 4th right now. But Dofi has been steadily climbing the win rate. I think its win rate was a little bit higher. It's dropped like a little bit, but still a very nice placement for Dofi. Just without Jinbei, he's doing completely fine. Next, we have the Blackbeard. Blackbeard is at 50% win rate, just about. And I feel like this is about where he'll stay. Like, he either shits on a deck or he gets shit on. So 50% kind of makes sense for me. Still the second most represented deck in the format, behind the massive Shanks usage, 17,480. I think Blackbeard will probably stay between this 3 and 7 range throughout the format. Probably not cracking the top 3 and not going below the 7 would be my guess. Next we have Bonnie. Bonnie's taken a bit of a hit here. I feel like the past couple of weeks she's been like 3 or 4. Dropping to 6 could be because of the rise of Rob Lucci. Rob Lucci's seen a good amount of representation here, and Rob Lucci destroys Bonnie with a 70% win rate. So Rob Lucci could be a factor into that. And let's check into Bonnie's other matchups. Like, She gets destroyed by Blackbeard, 39% win rate, and she gets destroyed by Rob Lucci, as I said. Other than that, like, her other matchups are pretty solid. Yeah, I guess the 6 makes sense, but I'd expect her to, yeah, be in this 4 to 6 range is what I'd expect from Bonnie. Lim, I just don't, I still know nothing about. I never play against this deck. I never see people play it. Its representation is second lowest on this list, right in front of Eustace Captain Kidd. So Lim, I just don't know what she's seen, guys. Top 7 deck in the format. She must be fucking good. But yeah, nothing much to say about here. Next, Rob Lucci, guys. Rob Lucci, I've been saying, is going to crack into the top 10 for the past couple of weeks. And Rob Lucci, like, in the exact opposite way that Purple Luffy kind of has those even matchups, Rob Lucci is the exact opposite. He either shits on decks or he is getting shit on. You can see 39% against Shanks, 33% against Blackbeard, 19% against the Usopp. And Rob Lucci would probably be a lot fucking higher on this list if Shanks and Blackbeard represent... I mean, it's stupid to say this, but if Shanks and Blackbeard representation wasn't so, like, disproportional, Rob Lucci would probably be, like, a top 5 deck in the format, because it has a 50% win rate and it's getting destroyed by the 2 best decks in the format, which just is, like, a testament to how good its other matchups are. 66% into Zoro, 65% into Smoker, 70% into Bonnie, 61% into Kid. Like, just destroying a bunch of decks in the format, but just being held down by the 2 most popular decks, which are Shanks and Blackbeard. Next, guys, we have Usopp. Usopp finally cracks into the top 10. This is where I expected him to be. Like, when I first saw his cards, I thought, and his leader ability, like, it's a really consistent, very strong leader ability that kind of smooths out your game. And here, I want to look into Usopp's matchup. So getting destroyed by Shanks, 32%. I'm guessing it just can't keep up with the big drops, but for me, like, I feel like, well, maybe the Roger. I feel like going for a game with Roger against Usopp is really strong. But other than that, like, putting up a bunch of blockers against the 10-drop Shanks and all of those other big cards, I feel like Usopp should have a better time into Shanks. But I haven't put any time into Usopp. I've never even played the deck. I do want to, but 32% seems a little low for me against Usopp, or against Shanks. 50% into Blackbeard, 58% into Zoro, 50% into Smoker, 36% into Purple Luffy, 72% into Dofi, guys. Holy shit. If you want to beat Dofi, play Usopp. 72% is crazy. That is by far the best matchup into Dofi. What is Lucci's? Lucci's is 58%, so 72% is crazy. And then an 80% into Lucci, guys. So if Lucci ever comes back in the meta, or Dofi becomes more popular, Usopp could kind of take up this reign and start rising in the rankings. But right now, the 31% into Shanks is probably why it's so low. It's just really struggling against that deck. And then its other matchups, 35% into Red Purple Luffy, 38% into Lim, and 41% into Smoker. Or not into Smoker, into Kid. So pretty good matchups for Usopp. I think just getting destroyed by Shanks is really bogging it down. And then lastly, guys, Eustace Captain Kidd, 51% win rate. That is, I think this is the first time it's been above 50%. So I do want to check out this list. And looking into its matchups, it does have a positive matchup into Shanks, which is why you probably, like, with the uptick of Shanks matches, this is why you're probably seeing this 51% win rate, because it finally has a positive matchup into Shanks. Then its other matchups gets destroyed by Bonnie, gets not destroyed by Blackbeard, but 40% win rate is not the best. And then the other matchups look pretty solid, pretty consistent, around 60 to 45%. So really strong for Kid there. Okay, guys, so that was the rankings. Now let's get into the deck list, and then we'll go a little more in depth into the matchups, just pointing out any big discrepancies that we see. So getting right into the Zoro list, guys. We're not, oh, this is the, oh, I forgot Shanks is the best deck now. So we're not going to spend too much time here, but the Shanks list already looks different to me. This is the first time I've seen 5-drop Marco in it. This is the first time I've seen the Silver's Rayleigh in it. And other than that, this is kind of your basic Shanks shit. I don't want to go through this because, I mean, we've all seen the Shanks deck right now. But the Marco is very interesting. I've played against Shanks list with the Marco teched in, and I find it pretty strong. Like, you're able to use this building snake, you're able to use the Hongo ability to kind of clear your opponent's board a little more consistently. especially with the combination of the Ben Beckman and the Marco and the Rayleigh. It just adds a little bit more removal consistency for the Shanks deck, and obviously it's fucking working. And the Zoro, I don't think I've seen the Zoro in here before, but like Shanks likes to play this way, like slowly, and then big drop, big drop, big drop. So Zoro kind of smooths out that middle game for it. I haven't played against a Shanks deck with the Zoro before, but it can play out your Lucky Roos, it can play out your Marcos, it can play out your Rayleighs, it can play out your 5-drop Luffys. So a lot of good targets for the Zoro. I do like that a lot. So yeah, nice Shanks list. Finally some variation that we're seeing here in the top 10 deck list. Next, getting into Zoro, guys. This looks like just Animal, strictly Animal. Nothing to talk about here. We've seen Animal Zoro. Next, into Pluffy. Pluffy, I've seen this Kamazo being run a lot more just to counter some Zoro decks. So its ability is your turn. When you return a Don from your field to your Don deck, K up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 2 or less. They're really nice against those aggro decks. I don't think I've seen this 4-drop Law being played a lot, but I mean, this card is just, it's a good card, guys. Like 4 cost, 5k blocker with the counter on play, Don -1, and then if your opponent has 7 or more cards, you trash 2. A really nice card here that I like the inclusion of. Other than that, we're seeing God Thread. 2 of God Thread main, K up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 5 or less, then add up to 1 Don card from your Don deck and set it as active. I have never seen that card played, but interesting. I like the spice here, Purple Luffy players. I like the spice. Other than that, just generic Purple Luffy shit. Next we have Dofi. Dofi's been the same since the start of the format. Nothing to talk about here. Blackbeard, anything to point out? Nope, generic Blackbeard shit. Next, next we have Bonnie. Bonnie is Bonnie's deck has also been exactly the same every fucking week. I mean, I think this Barto might be new. It's a blocker, Supernova. Your turn. If a character is rested by your effect, draw 1 card and trash 1. So a little bit of hand filtering there. I mean, it's a new card, I think. And it's not nothing, like there's nothing to write home about. It's just a new blocker for the deck. Nothing too crazy. So on to the next, we have Lim. Lim, I just don't know anything about, and Lim seems to be about the same as she's always been. Nothing to go crazy about here as well. Next, into the Lucci list. Now, I made a video about this just because it's the list that really jumped out to me as unique and different. It is a very strange list, guys. If you want to see my video about it, I'll leave it in the description to go check it out. But the Lucci list here is like, it's like a hob job of black cards kind of smushed together. We have the 2 of Mancheris, 2 of Spandines, 2 of Hinas, 1 of Who's Who. So they're only running 9 2Ks is what I noticed. They're also running 3 10-drop Kuzans, 3 Jacks, 3 Kaidos, only 2 6 King Pistols. And then the Spandam can only search 17 cards in this list, which is, it only searches the top 3, so you're bricking just a lot. So yeah, go check out my video if you want to see more on this list. It is very interesting, and I want to make like some revisions to it and really optimize this list to actually be one of the best decks in the format, I think. Next, going into the Usopp. Usopp's always been running the same shit, guys. We've all seen this Usopp before. They are running a lot of the King Kong guns, which I don't know if Usopps have been playing that, but I mean, I like it. Yeah, you just set up a giant wall, you defend, and then you drop a Luffy and fucking destroy your opponent. So I do like that tech. I don't like, Usopp hasn't been in the top 10 before, so this is the first time we're seeing the actual deck list. So I do like the King Kong gun inclusion. Other than that, just this seems like everything I see against Usopp every time. And then the Yellow Kid list, let's check it out. We are running anything special. The 3 of Enel, I've been seeing that in the other Yellow Kid list. El Thors, the 0-drop event, the Ace. Yeah, this looks like generic kid stuff. And yeah, nothing to write home about here. Okay, guys, so that was the deck list. Now let's get into the matchups. So we're just going to go through the matchup chart here and see if anything, like any huge numbers stand out for us. And I do want to discuss like what decks have the best win rate into Shanks, because if you have a good win rate into Shanks, you're probably going to make this list, which I'm very surprised that Red Purple Luffy with a 62% win rate into Shanks is not on the top 10. Like that means Red Purple Luffy has like upwards of 14. Oh no, that doesn't make sense. But Red Purple Luffy has a lot of wins against Shanks, and even then it did not crack the top 10, which could be a testament to its other matchups. Like, and it doesn't seem that bad. The 23% Bonnie is a killer, but besides that, relatively, and the 36% into Zoro, relatively between 40 and 60 for all of its other matchups. So I'm unsure why Red Purple Luffy had been like 8, 9, 10 for the past couple of weeks, but I'm guessing Usopp and Rob, it's probably like 11, 12. Red Purple Luffy, if you want to beat Shanks, seems like the best option to do it, and you're going to be seeing a lot of Shankses on the ranked sim, guys. So pick up the Red Purple Luffy if you are struggling against Shanks and you wanna make him cry a little bit. Other than that, guys, Shanks has a positive win rate against almost everything, and then the ones that he doesn't have are almost even: 47%, 47%, 47%, and then finally the 38% against Red Purple Luffy is his one truly bad matchup, and it's not even that bad. 38% is still winnable. Next into Blackbeard, guys. Blackbeard, 66% win rate into Lucci, kind of Lucci's demon. Other than that, he gets absolutely fucking destroyed by Dofi. 23% win rate into Dofi, that is awful. Fucking like, if Dofi ever ticks up, I think Dofi should start seeing some more usage, guys. We can see Blackbeard kind of go away a little bit. Dofi is able to, where's Dofi? Dofi is, we could see Blackbeard go away. We could see Zoro kind of take a backseat as well. And it has a good matchup into Shanks. Like, I think the meta's really working out in Dofi's favor. His worst matchup is into Usopp, and his other matchups are fucking great, guys. Like, and Usopp's not very prevalent right now. So if Dofi, like, I don't see anything blocking Dofi from becoming a top 3 deck in the format right now. Purple Luffy is matchup 47. Dofi has a winning matchup into Purple Luffy as well, 53%. So against the top 3 decks in the format is either even or, yeah, just about even or a little bit over even. So yeah, Dofi, guys, I think we could see just keep rising 1, 2, 3. Maybe Zoro will fall out of the top 3 in the next coming weeks. So going into some more numbers, let's see. We have a 34% win rate of, yeah, Zoro. Zoro's big counter is the Rob Lucci. Like, that is to be expected. Black decks have always historically been able to tech against red decks to really shut them down with the 4-drop Lucci. There's not much the Zoro player can do against that, especially with the Animal List. Animal List just kind of gets shit on by the Rob Lucci. For Smoker also dropped out of the top 10. I forgot about that. Yeah, Smoker's gone, guys. So Smoker and Purple Luffy were replaced by Usopp. They were replaced by Usopp and the Rob Lucci. Yeah. So yeah, Smoker is gone. Smoker's matchups are just like, she only has four winning matchups against the top 10. He has a 53% into Blackbeard, 50% into its mirror, 51% into Bonnie, and 58% into Red Purple Luffy. So even like its good matchups aren't that good. So it doesn't have one dominating matchup to really carry it. It's just kind of even, and then kind of gets shit on by Shanks, shit on by Zoro, shit on by Dofi, shit on by Lucci. So it's just not in a very good spot right now. I don't think Smoker will play that big of a role in this meta, just looking at its matchup chart. It's just not strong enough, and being at 4 life really hinders it. It'll probably be like a high tier, like a contending deck, but I think its time in the top 10 could be over. Next for Purple Luffy, just super even across the board. Guys, if you want to beat Bonnie, pick up Blackbeard, pick up Rob Lucci, and then you can have a fantastic time against the Bonnie player. We've already talked about Dofi enough. We talked about Usopp enough. Rob Lucci, we've talked about. Red Purple Luffy, yes. Lim, I do want to see what's going on here. So 37% win rate into Shanks, that is tough. 60% into Blackbeard, 62% into Usopp. So Lim's matchup spread, holy shit, guys, look at this shit. Look at that matchup spread. Oh my god, look at all that green. 58% into Kid, 50% into the mirror, 51% into Red Purple Luffy, 58% into Lucci, 62% into Usopp, 45% into Dofi, 50% into Bonnie, 50% into Pluffy, 56% into Smoker, 52% into Zoro. Holy shit! Maybe I've been sleeping on Lim. That is one of the best matchups. That's even better than Purple Luffy's matchup spread. Holy shit, guys! Maybe I need to make a Lim deck because that is fucking awesome. Wow, I did not know Lim had that sauce. So it really seems like if you know the deck, you are able to pretty much compete in every single matchup, really, against except Shanks. 37% is tough, but it seems like if you know the deck, you're able to compete just with about any deck in the format. That is really impressive out of Lim. And then Yellow Kid, 52% into Shanks. That is a very, very important stat there. 41% into Blackbeard, 55% into Zoro. And the rest of Kid's matchup besides the Bonnie and the Lucci are relatively even, so pretty good for Eustace, Captain Kid, and Lim. It looks like they're positioned to maybe start rising a little bit more in the format, especially the Lim. That her matchup spread is insane, and a 52% win rate is nothing to laugh about. Just about Purple Luffy's win rate as well. Just Lim has a little bit less usage, just very underrepresented right now, but a very strong deck. Holy shit, I'm impressed by Lim. That is really cool. So yeah, guys, with that, I think that is everything I wanted to cover today. I think we're set up for a very interesting top 10, like OP10 metagame. Like Shanks is a problem just because it's so consistent and can kind of, it's good against every deck in the format, or it's at least even with most decks in the format, and then it struggles only against Red Purple Luffy. But Red Purple Luffy, which is its counter, is struggling against all the other decks. Red Purple Luffy's usage is probably going to drop, and Shanks is going to just be dominant, guys. Like I don't see, like Zoro, I see the win rate ticking down because people can counter Zoro with just by running anti-aggro cards. But against Shanks, guys, like there's not a lot you can do. Like there's no really anti-Shanks cards that I can think of that I can put in my deck and be like, oh yeah, this really gets Shanks. Like that's not how it works with the deck, I don't think. So Zoro, you can do that, and that is why I think Zoro's finally ticking down. I just don't see anything that will be able to stop Shanks here. It is just too strong, too consistent. It's kind of reminiscent of Whitebeard in that you don't get the free 5k swing, but he has 5 life. He has some of the strongest cards available to him in the game, and it's not as like overpowered as Whitebeard, obviously, but it's just that he has, for one attack a turn, he is a 6k leader for free. And that is very, very strong, especially in the early game when your opponent wants to be playing on curve and playing the cards that they want to see, and they're just not able to swing into the leader, which is why Red Purple Luffy probably has a very good matchup into it, because it can swing free 6s into it every single turn. So with that, guys, I think that is all I have. I hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We are on, let me say 350 subs, because I don't know, we've been moving slow in the sub department lately, so I wanna lower my goal just so I can have something to achieve. Drink a coffee. Yeah, that's about all I had today. I hope you have a beautiful Sunday, and yeah, let me know what you think of the metagame for OP10. I think we're set up for some interesting tournaments moving forward, and there's a lot to look forward to. So thank you so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you later.